There were 175,000 troops involved in the battle, counting all the support services. And there would be Teamsters, medical personnel, drivers, cavalry, infantry. All told, there were about 175,000 in the battle. The first day of the battle, July 1st, 1863, really began with the cavalry action northwest of town under John Buford. Buford, the cavalry commander, was screening the left wing of the army, about 30,000 Union troops who were under John Fulton Reynolds. Buford engaged the Confederates northwest of town to entangle the Confederates, to give Reynolds the option of bringing on a general battle here at Gettysburg. Now, politically, it made sense to fight here because if you look at Gettysburg on a map in central Pennsylvania, it sticks out as a place where 11 major roads come together. You might call it a central place. Armies as well as wheeled vehicles need roads. So Reynolds figured that to control this important crossroads, he would need to control Cemetery Hill where we're standing. The best way to do that was to continue the fight the cavalry had begun northwest of town and use the distance between there and here, Cemetery Hill, to buy time until the rest of the Union Army could make forced marches from Maryland to here. That's essentially what the first day's battle was, a delay action on the Union part. The fighting at the Round Tops on the second day, Round Tops anchored the Union left, the left of the Union Army's line. Lieutenant Colonel Van Horn Ellis was in command of the 124th New York, and he was out there on the end of the line. At the time that the fight started in Devil's Den, Little Round Top had yet to be fortified. So Devil's Den was the end of the line. The Confederates badly wanted to take that position because that meant the Union line would be unhinged. Lieutenant Colonel Van Horn Ellis was tragically killed and his body was laid on a rock where the monument is today. Captain Wagan, Company A, later wrote a poignant letter describing how he saw Ellis lying there with the blood mingled with a gold locket hanging around his neck. But the 124th New York had held the position long enough that Little Round Top was fortified, the Union left was secure. The Confederates were not able to really exploit the advantage of taking it. But Devil's Den would be used as a nest to sharpshoot at Little Round Top the remainder of the battle. All told, about 1,800 Confederates attacked originally 1,300 Union men. The Union men would receive reinforcements, but the fight there, according to Joshua Chamberlain, who commanded the 20th Maine, he said that it wavered back and forth like the waves of the sea, and that there were 3 major currents back and forth before the Federals finally secured the top of the hill. Little Round Top was important because it anchored the end of the Union line. Furthermore, the Confederates could not see what lay beyond the hill, and thus they were always in fear of a force emerging from behind the hill to attack them in reverse. Pickett's charge is one of the most important events in American military history. People from all over the world visit Gettysburg to study it. It was on the third and final day of the battle, July 3rd, 1863. The Confederate troops would make one more attempt to take Cemetery Hill by way of Cemetery Ridge. They couldn't take the hill directly because the town sat in front of the hill, but they found a way to get at it from its side. That would be from Cemetery Ridge. The only trouble was, for them, what lay between them and Cemetery Hill was the Union 2nd Corps, one of the best corps in either army. They underestimated the Union will to hold that ridge. The Confederates lost in the fight between killed, wounded, and missing probably upwards of 4,000 men. The battle ended dramatically in favor of the Union Army. The Gettysburg Address was given by Abraham Lincoln on November 19, 1863, 4.5 months after the battle, as part of the dedication of the first National Cemetery.